The sting of regret. Have you ever lain awake at night, replaying a moment in your head, wishing you could hit rewind and choose differently? Maybe it was a harsh word you snapped in the heat of an argument, a job you turned down that could have changed everything, or a chance at love you let slip through your fingers because fear got the better of you. That sharp pang of regret. It's like a knot in your stomach, a quiet voice whispering, "If only." It's universal. We've all felt it, that ache of what might have been, stealing our peace in the small hours. But what if I told you some of the wisest minds in history had a secret to living without that weight? A way to make decisions with crystal clear clarity, to face life's chaos with unshakable calm, and to find a deep, lasting peace no matter what storms come your way. Today, we're diving into the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, not as some dusty old theory gathering cobwebs in a library, but as a practical, down-to-earth toolkit for transforming your life. Thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus weren't just scribbling big ideas in tomes. They lived them, navigating plagues, wars, betrayals, and personal heartaches. Their wisdom isn't just about dodging pain or chasing fleeting bursts of happiness. It's about building a life where regret doesn't get to call the shots. So, grab a comfy seat, maybe a warm cup of coffee or tea, and let's unpack how Stoic teachings can help you tackle stress, make choices you're proud of, and live with a sense of purpose that feels true to you. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll walk away with tools to change how you face every single day. Let's get started. Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone, and a post catches your eye. A friend's perfect vacation photo, a colleague's big promotion, or maybe a news headline screaming about the latest crisis. Suddenly, your mind's racing. Why isn't my life like that? What if I'm falling behind? That's the modern world. Loud, relentless, pulling you in 100 directions. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to second-guess yourself, to wonder if you're making the right moves. Regret thrives in that noise, feeding on every should've and could've. But Stoicism, it's like a lighthouse in the fog, guiding you back to what matters. Stoicism teaches you to focus on what's in your control, your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, and let go of the rest. It's not about becoming a robot, shutting off your emotions, or pretending life's all sunshine. It's about choosing how you respond when the world throws curveballs. Take Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled during a brutal plague and endless wars. He could have panicked, hidden away, or lashed out in fear. Instead, he stayed steady, making tough calls with a calm mind, guided by reason and duty. That's Stoicism in action. Not escaping the storm, but learning to sail through it. Imagine applying that to your life. Maybe you're stressed about a work deadline, a fight with a friend, or a big decision looming. Stoicism says, pause. Ask yourself, what can I control here? Maybe you can't fix the deadline, but you can manage your effort. You can't force your friend to forgive you, but you can apologize with sincerity. It's like sorting life into two piles. What's yours to shape and what's not. By focusing on your pile, you cut through the clutter, making choices that align with who you want to be. This isn't just ancient wisdom for toga-wearing philosophers. It's for you, right now, in the middle of your messy, beautiful life. Whether you're juggling a career, raising kids, or just trying to figure out what makes you tick, Stoicism offers tools to navigate it all. It's about living intentionally, so when you look back you don't see a trail of if-onlys, but a path of moments you owned. So, stick with me. We're going to explore how these Stoic giants faced their challenges, and how their lessons can help you build a life that is resilient, purposeful, and free of regret. Let's dive in. The Stoic Way. More than just philosophy. Let's set the stage. Close your eyes for a second and picture ancient Rome, a sprawling, vibrant empire pulsing with energy. Markets overflowing with merchants hawking spices and silks, senators scheming in marble halls, and crowds cheering at chariot races. But beneath the grandeur, it's a world riddled with chaos. Political plots twist like daggers in the dark, wars rage on distant frontiers, and devastating pandemics sweep through, leaving fear and grief in their wake. In the heart of this whirlwind, you've got people like Marcus Aurelius, not some detached emperor lounging in an ivory tower, but a man wrestling with the same human struggles we all face. Fear gnawing at the edges of his mind, doubt clouding his decisions, and the crushing pressure of making tough calls that affect millions. The Stoics weren't just philosophers scribbling lofty quotes for dusty scrolls. They were in the trenches, knee-deep in life's mess, using their ideas to stay grounded when the world around them felt like it was crumbling. So, what is Stoicism exactly? If you've heard the word before, you might picture a stone-faced statue, someone bottling up emotions and shrugging off pain. But that's a caricature, not the real deal. At its core, Stoicism is about zeroing in on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, and letting go of what you can't, like other people's opinions, bad luck, or life's inevitable curveballs. It's not about being cold or shutting down your feelings. It's about choosing how you respond to life's ups and downs, so you're not tossed around like a leaf in a storm. The Stoics believed that by mastering your inner world, your mindset, your choices, you could find a deep, unshakable tranquility, no matter what chaos the outer world hurls at you. Think of it like sailing a ship across a vast ocean. Life is that ocean. Sometimes it's smooth, with gentle waves and golden sunsets. Other times it's a raging tempest, with towering waves threatening to capsize you. Stoicism doesn't promise to calm the storms or make the seas glassy forever. Instead, it teaches you how to steer your ship with skill, to adjust the sails, and to keep your eyes fixed on the horizon, even when the wind howls. It's about building the resilience to navigate life's unpredictable waters without losing your way. And here's the kicker. This is just ancient wisdom for toga-wearing Romans debating in grand forums. It's practical, actionable advice you can use right now whether you're stressed about a looming work deadline tangled in a messy relationship, or just trying to figure out what truly matters to you in a world that is always shouting for your attention. Let's dig a bit deeper into why this matters. Life today feels a lot like ancient Rome in some ways, buzzing with energy, but also chaotic. We've got our own battles, endless notifications pinging our phones, social media screaming about what we should care about, and personal pressures piling up. Bills, family drama, or that nagging question of, am I doing this right? It's easy to feel overwhelmed, like you're drowning in noise and choices. Stoicism cuts through that clutter. It's like a mental compass, helping you find your bearings when everything's spinning. By focusing on what's in your control, you can make decisions with clarity, act with purpose, and let go of the anxiety that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Take a moment to think about your own life. Maybe you're dealing with a boss who's impossible to please, or a friendship that's hit a rough patch. Maybe you're staring down a big decision. Should you take that new job, move to a new city, or start that project you've been dreaming about? Stoicism doesn't give you a magic answer, but it gives you a framework. It says, focus on what you can do. Shape your response. Align your actions with your values. That might mean having a tough but honest conversation, putting in your best effort despite the outcome, or simply choosing to stay calm when everything feels like it's falling apart. The Stoics lived this way, and it made them resilient. Marcus Aurelius, for example, didn't just rule an empire. He faced personal losses, betrayals, and a deadly plague that could have broken a lesser leader. Yet he stayed steady, using Stoic principles to guide his actions. That "S what we," re-exploring next, how these ideas held up in one of history's toughest tests, and how a Stoic leader turned chaos into clarity. So, stick with me, because this is where the rubber meets the road, and we'll see Stoicism in action, ready to inspire your own journey. Marcus Aurelius and the Plague, Calm in the Storm. Imagine you're leading an empire, the weight of millions of lives on your shoulders when a deadly plague tears through your cities, claiming countless souls. Streets once bustling with merchants and laughter now echo with grief and fear. People are panicking, bodies are piling up, and the economy's crumbling like a house of cards. This was the Antonine Plague, a catastrophe that struck Rome during Marcus Aurelius's reign, threatening to unravel the empire itself. It could have been a perfect storm for chaos, mass hysteria, riots in the forums, or leaders fleeing to their lavish summer villas to escape the horror. But Marcus, he didn't flinch, he didn't retreat to safety or barricade himself in the palace. Instead, he rolled up his sleeves and got to work, facing the crisis head-on with a resolve that still echoes through history. While fear could have easily taken the reins, whispering panic, urging rash decisions, Marcus chose a different path. He leaned on Stoic principles, making rational, deliberate choices that prioritized the greater good. He subsidized funeral costs, ensuring grieving families could bury their loved ones with dignity, even as their world fell apart. He recruited new soldiers to bolster the empire's defenses, keeping stability intact when it was needed most. And in a move that speaks volumes about his character, he sold his own possessions. Think glittering jewels, ornate statues, the treasures of an emperor, to fund military campaigns and keep the empire's heart beating. This wasn't a man ruled by the chaos around him. Marcus was the embodiment of Stoic calm, acting with purpose and clarity when the world felt like it was burning to the ground. So, what's the takeaway for us? It's all about resilience. Stoicism teaches that life is going to throw curveballs, sometimes massive ones, like a global crisis that upends everything, or smaller ones, like a brutal day at work or a personal setback. You can't control the curveball itself, whether it's a plague, a layoff, or a car breaking down at the worst moment. But you can control how you swing. Marcus showed us that by staying grounded, focusing on what's within your power, and letting go of what isn't, you can face even the fiercest storms with a clear head. It's not about pretending everything's fine or pasting on a fake smile. It's about choosing actions that align with your deepest values, even when the pressure's crushing and the stakes feel impossibly high. Now, you might be thinking, okay, inspiring story, but I'm not running an empire here. And that's fair. Most of us aren't making decisions that shape nations. But the principle Marcus lived by applies just as much to our everyday battles. Picture this. Your family is going through a rough patch, maybe a health scare or a financial hit. Or you're staring down a tight deadline at work, with your boss breathing down your neck. Or maybe it's just one of those mornings where the coffee spills, the kids are screaming, and your inbox is a war zone. Stoicism steps in like a quiet mentor, whispering, pause, breathe. What can you control right now? What's the next right step? Maybe it's making a calm plan to tackle that deadline, having an honest talk with a loved one, or just taking 5 minutes to reset your mind before diving back in. That's Stoicism in action, and it's a game changer. Let's make it real. Say you're dealing with a conflict at work. A colleague's thrown you under the bus and you're fuming. You can't undo what they said, and you can't force them to apologize. But you can control your response. You could stew in anger, letting it ruin your day, or you could take the Stoic route. Focus on your work, stay professional, and let your actions speak louder than their words. That choice doesn't just diffuse the drama. It builds your character, leaving you stronger for the next challenge. It's like training a muscle. Every time you choose resilience over reaction, you grow more capable of handling life's chaos. Marcus' example during the plague isn't just a history lesson. It as a blueprint for living with purpose under pressure. But to really understand why this approach works so well, we need to zoom out and explore a bigger Stoic idea, seeing life through the lens of history. By looking at the patterns of the past, we can find comfort and clarity for the challenges we face today. So, let's keep going and unpack how the Stoics used history to stay steady, and how you can too. History's Lessons: Finding Comfort in the Cycle. One of the Stoics' most profound insights is that human life moves in patterns, like a river carving the same path through the earth over centuries. Empires rise with ambition and glory, only to crumble under their own weight. People face crises, plagues, wars, betrayals, and somehow they find ways to overcome, to rebuild, to keep going. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully when he said, "Look back at the past, with its endless parade of kingdoms, wars, and triumphs, and you'll see the future too." It's as if history is a giant wheel, turning over and over, each rotation bringing challenges that echo those of the past. The struggles we face today, pandemics that disrupt our lives, economic woes that tighten our belts, social divides that pull us apart, aren't brand new inventions. They're just the latest spin of that ancient wheel, dressed up in modern clothes. This idea isn't just a tidbit for history buffs to geek out over. It's deeply, almost viscerally comforting. When you're stressed, scared, or overwhelmed, it's so easy to feel like your problems are unique, like you're the only one drowning in a sea of chaos. Your heart races, your mind spirals, and it feels like no one's ever faced a mess quite like yours. But Stoicism steps in with a gentle nudge. You're not alone. Others have walked this road before, maybe in togas, maybe in armor, maybe in simpler times, and they made it through. Some faced struggles far worse than yours and still found a way to carry on. By studying history, you start to see the bigger picture, like zooming out on a map to reveal the roads connecting your story to countless others. That breakup tearing you apart, the job loss that's shaken your confidence, the anxiety that keeps you up at night. They're not isolated events. They're threads in a vast tapestry, part of a larger human story we've been weaving for centuries. This perspective isn't just a Stoic thing. It's echoed by other great thinkers. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus put it simply, "Nothing is permanent except change." Doesn't that sound like a Stoic anthem? The world is always shifting, always in flux, and that's not something to fear. It's just how things are. Or take Aristotle, who saw suffering as a harsh but necessary teacher. He believed wisdom often comes through pain, like a lesson we didn't sign up for but can't avoid. These ideas remind us that our struggles, as heavy as they feel, aren't the end of the story. They're just a chapter, one page in a book that's still being written. When you see your life as part of this endless cycle, it's easier to stay steady, to hold fast, knowing that others have walked this path and left footprints for you to follow. So, how do you actually use this insight? It's simpler than it sounds. Next time you're overwhelmed, maybe your bank account's looking grim, or a family argument's left you raw, take a moment to step back. Think about how people in the past handled similar problems. Maybe it's a story from history, like Marcus Aurelius facing a plague that could have broken his empire, yet choosing calm action over panic. Or maybe it's closer to home, a family tale about how your grandparents scraped by during tough times, maybe with nothing but grit and a stubborn refusal to give up. Let those stories be your anchor. They're not just anecdotes. They're proof that humans are built to adapt, to endure, to find light even in the darkest moments. Try this. When you're spiraling, grab a notebook or just sit quietly and ask yourself, what would someone from the past do here? Maybe it's a historical figure whose courage you admire, or a relative whose resilience inspires you. Picture them facing your problem. What choices would they make? This isn't about escaping into the past. It's about drawing strength from it. Those stories remind you that your challenges, while real, are part of a shared human experience. They're evidence that you're tougher than you think, because others have been where you are and kept going. This Stoic lens doesn't just comfort, it empowers. It's like a quiet voice saying, "You've got this because others did too." It shifts your perspective from feeling trapped to feeling connected, from seeing problems as dead ends to seeing them as paths others have navigated. And that perspective sets the stage for one of Stoicism's core principles, focusing on what S in your power. By grounding yourself in history's lessons, you're better equipped to take control of your responses and steer your life with purpose. Let's explore that next, because it's where Stoic wisdom really starts to transform how you live.
It's not what happens, it's how you react. Let us dive into a Stoic gem that hits like a lightning bolt. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's Epictetus, one of the sharpest minds in Stoic philosophy, slicing through life's chaos with razor-sharp clarity. Life is messy, think traffic jams that make you late, bosses who seem to thrive on criticism, kids coming down with a fever right before a big meeting, or global crises that shake the world to its core. Those things, they're out of your hands, like wild cards dealt by fate, but your reaction, that's 100% yours to shape, and that's where your real power lies. This idea is the beating heart of Stoicism. Your strength, your freedom, your ability to live, well, it all comes down to how you choose to respond. Let's break it down with a real-world example. Imagine you've been working hard for months, pouring your energy into a project, only to get passed over for a promotion. The sting is real, your boss picks someone else, and there's nothing you can do to change that decision. It's a gut punch, and it's tempting to let it take you down. You could stew in anger, muttering about how unfair it is, maybe even badmouth your colleague to anyone who'll listen, or you could spiral into self-doubt, wondering if you're just not good enough. Those reactions, they're natural, but they're also traps, breeding regret and bitterness that weigh you down. Now picture the Stoic approach. You take a deep breath, accept what happened, and focus on what's in your control. Maybe you ask for feedback to sharpen your skills, double down on your work, and keep showing up with integrity. The first path leaves you stuck. The second builds your character, turning a setback into a stepping stone. This mindset is like a mental filter, a way to sort through life's endless noise and chaos. It splits everything into two clear buckets, what you can control and what you can't, stuck in traffic. You can't make the cars move faster, but your attitude in the driver's seat, whether you curse the universe or pop on a podcast to stay calm, that's all you. A rude coworker snapping at you in a meeting, you can't rewrite their personality, but responding with kindness or staying professional, that's your call. By zeroing in on your bucket, what you can do, you stop pouring energy into things beyond your reach. Think about the big challenges we face: economic dips that threaten your savings, health scares that upend your routines, or social unrest that fills the air with tension. These can feel like mountains, towering and impossible to climb. It's easy to freeze, overwhelmed by their size, or to lash out in frustration. But Stoicism says, don't waste your energy trying to move the mountain. Focus on the next step you can take. Maybe it's researching ways to stretch your budget, checking in on a neighbor who's struggling, or simply staying calm so your family feels safe. These actions might seem small, but they're deliberate, purposeful, and they add up. They turn obstacles into opportunities to grow, to show up as the person you want to be. Let's make it personal. Picture a moment in your life right now, maybe a conflict with a friend, a work project that's gone sideways, or even just a day where nothing seems to go right. The Stoic challenge is to pause and ask, how can I respond in a way that aligns with who I want to be? It's not about being perfect or suppressing your emotions. It's about choosing a response that reflects your values: courage, kindness, resilience. Say your friend cancels plans last minute and you're hurt. You could fire off a passive-aggressive text, or you could take a moment, acknowledge your feelings, and respond with understanding, maybe even sparking a deeper conversation. That choice doesn't just diffuse tension. It strengthens your relationship and your sense of self. Epictetus' words aren't just a feel-good pep talk, they're a call to action, a challenge to take ownership of your life. It's not easy, especially when emotions run high or the world feels like it's crashing down, but it's powerful. Every time you choose your response, you're sculpting who you are, building a life that's less about regret and more about purpose. And this mindset opens the door to another Stoic trick, tuning out the world as noise to focus on what truly matters. Let's explore that next, because it's a game changer for finding clarity in a chaotic world.
Ignore the noise. Focus on what matters. Let's talk about something we all grapple with: noise. I'm not just talking about blaring horns or loud neighbors, but the relentless buzz that fills our heads every day, the constant hum of opinions, breaking news, and social media updates. Marcus Aurelius nailed it when he pointed out a strange human quirk. We love ourselves more than anyone else, yet we obsess over what others think, often more than our own judgment. Isn't that wild? Deep down, we know our own values, but we let the world's chatter drown them out. It's like we're hardwired to crave approval, and in today's digital age, that craving's been cranked up to 11. Every tweet, every Instagram post, every screaming headline is like a siren call, pulling you off your path, demanding your attention, and trying to steer your life. This noise isn't just annoying, it's a thief. It sneaks into your mind, stealing your focus, ratcheting up your anxiety, and clouding your decisions. Picture this: you're scrolling through social media, just a quick check, and suddenly you're spiraling. Someone's posting about their perfect vacation, and you're wondering why your life feels so ordinary. A colleague shares their latest promotion, and you're questioning if you're falling behind. Or you click on a news alert, and before you know it, fear or outrage has you in a chokehold, your heart racing over something happening halfway across the globe. It's like a mental fog rolling in, thick and disorienting, making it nearly impossible to see what truly matters: your values, your goals, the actions that define who you are and who you want to be. Stoicism offers a crystal-clear solution. Filter the noise. Focus on what's in your control: your thoughts, your behavior, your choices, and let the rest drift away like background static. It's like tuning an old radio to a clear station, cutting through the crackle to hear the music. Marcus Aurelius taught us to prioritize our own character, to build a life rooted in our principles, not swayed by the fickle tides of public opinion. Epictetus took it further, declaring that true freedom comes from emotional independence, from refusing to let others' judgments run your show. This isn't about ignoring the world or becoming a hermit. It's about choosing what deserves your energy and letting the rest pass by. This idea isn't just a Stoic exclusive. It's timeless wisdom echoed across centuries. Socrates, with his famous call to know thyself, urged us to anchor in our own truth, to trust our inner compass over the crowd's endless chatter. Plato's allegory of the cave is a vivid warning. Don't get lost in the shadows of popular opinion, those flickering illusions cast by society's noise. Seek the real, the true, the light of your own understanding. Together, these thinkers are shouting one clear message: don't let the world's clamor drown out the quiet voice of your own reason. So, how do you actually do this in real life? It's not about swearing off your phone or moving to a cabin in the woods, though, honestly, that sounds tempting sometimes. Start small, with intentional choices that fit your day. Try cutting your screen time, maybe an hour less scrolling each evening, swapping it for a walk or a good book. Curate what you consume like you're curating a playlist. Follow accounts that inspire you, that spark joy or growth, and unfollow the ones that leave you stressed or envious. When gossip or hot takes come your way, whether it as a coworker, as rant, or a viral post, pause and ask, does this help me live better? Does it align with my goals? If the answer's no, let it slide. It's like mental minimalism. Keep what serves your purpose, ditch what drags you down. Let's get practical. Say you're at a family gathering, and someone starts airing their unsolicited opinions on your career or life choices. The noise is loud, pushing your buttons. Instead of biting back or stewing, take a stoic breath. You can't control their words, but you can control your response. Maybe a polite nod and a subject change, keeping your peace intact. Or imagine you're doom scrolling and a headline spikes your anxiety. Instead of diving deeper, close the app, take a moment to breathe, and redirect your focus to something you can act on, like tackling a task or calling a friend. These small shifts build resilience, helping you stay true to your principles even when the world's shouting fear, greed, or judgment. By ignoring the noise, you carve out space for clarity, peace, and decisions you won't regret later. It's like clearing the clutter from a desk so you can actually work. This focus on your own path sets the stage for a core Stoic practice, living fully in the moment, where life's real magic happens. Let's dive into that next, because it's where Stoicism starts to transform how you experience every day. Live in the now. Mindfulness the Stoic way. Let's shift gears to one of the Stoics' most powerful tools, mindfulness. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly when he said to stop fretting about the past or future, because what truly afflicts you is always the present. It's like a wake-up call, a gentle shake to snap you out of the mental haze we so often wander in. We spend so much time replaying old mistakes, those cringe-worthy moments we wish we could erase, or stressing about what's coming next, like a mental hamster wheel spinning out what-ifs. In the process, we miss what's right in front of us. This moment, this breath, this life. Stoicism grabs you by the shoulders and says, come back to the now. That's where life actually happens, where you can act, feel, and truly live. Mindfulness, in the Stoic sense, isn't about sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop chanting Om or chasing some mystical vibe. It's about being fully, vividly here, aware of your thoughts, your surroundings, the rhythm of your breath, without judging or overthinking. It's noticing the rich, bitter taste of your morning coffee as it warms your hands, the soft patter of rain against your window, or the way your kid's laugh lights up a room. It's diving into your tasks. Whether you're scrubbing dishes, writing a work report, or folding laundry, as if they're the only thing in the universe. This kind of presence is like a knife that cuts through anxiety, because worry feeds on the what-ifs of tomorrow or the if-onlys of yesterday, not the what-is of right now. Epictetus leaned hard into this idea, offering a radical take. Don, did you wish for life to be different? Just want it as it is, and peace will follow. It's a bold mindset shift. Instead of fighting reality, kicking against the things you can't change, you embrace what's here. This doesn't mean abandoning your dreams or goals. It means pouring your full attention into the step you're taking right now. It's about showing up for the present moment with clarity and intention, trusting that each mindful step builds toward a future you're proud of. Other philosophers vibe with this too. Aristotle spoke of virtuous action, choosing what's right in the moment, not just for show, but for the sake of being good. Plato argued that true happiness comes from engaging with reality's deeper truth, not getting lost in the illusions or distractions that pull us away from the now. Want to try it? It's simpler than you might think, and you don't need a meditation cushion or an hour of silence. Start with 5 minutes a day. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and when your mind inevitably wanders to your to-do list or that awkward thing you said last week, gently bring it back. No judgment, just practice. Or pick one daily task, like eating a meal, walking to the store, or even brushing your teeth, and do it without your phone or mental multitasking. Notice the details: the crunch of your food, the feel of the ground under your feet, the coolness of the toothpaste. Feel the textures, savor the sensations. I love this exercise because it's so simple, yet it builds your mindfulness muscle over time, making it easier to stay present in every part of your day. Why does this matter? Because living in the now is a regret killer. When you're fully engaged, you're less likely to make half-hearted decisions that haunt you later or miss the moments that define your life, like a heartfelt talk with a friend or a quiet evening with family. Presence also sharpens your focus and owns your instincts, equipping you for whatever lies ahead. It's like training for life's marathon. Each mindful step strengthens you, building mental clarity and emotional resilience. Think about a time you were in the zone, maybe playing a sport, creating art, or even just laughing with friends. That flow, that total immersion, is mindfulness in action, and it's where joy and purpose live. This practice isn't just about feeling good, it's about living well. When you're present, you make choices that align with your values, not just reactions to fleeting emotions. You listen better, work smarter, and connect deeper. Within it as the difference between rushing through a meal while scrolling your phone and truly tasting each bite, or between zoning out during a conversation and really hearing what's said. These moments, small as they seem, stack up, shaping a life that feels full and authentic. Mindfulness also prepares you for the future by grounding you in the present. When you're clear-headed, you're better at solving problems, spotting opportunities, and handling stress. It's like sharpening a blade. Each moment of presence makes you more effective, more ready for whatever comes next. And this Stoic truth about living in the now leads us to another profound idea: the fleeting nature of time itself. Let's explore that next, because it's a wake-up call to make every moment count. Life is short. Make it count. Marcus Aurelius dropped a mic with a truth that hits like a thunderclap. Life is short, so live it thoughtfully, justly. It's a gut punch, a stark reminder that our time on this earth is finite, like sand slipping through an hourglass. We're not here forever, and that reality can feel heavy, but it's also a spark, a call to make every day count, to make choices that reflect who we are and what we stand for. Stoicism isn't about chasing wild, fleeting pleasures or stacking up trophies to impress the world. It's about living with intention, about making the present moment a canvas for actions that align with your deepest values. So when you look back, you see a life that feels true. Here's where it gets tricky. We live in a delayed return world, and that can mess with our heads. The choices you make today, eating a healthy meal, grinding through a tough study session, or biting your tongue to be kind instead of snapping, often don't show their rewards right away. It's like planting seeds in a garden. You dig, you sow, you water, but the harvest might not come for months, maybe even years. This gap between action and outcome can breed anxiety, especially in a world obsessed with instant gratification. We want the results now, the perfect body, the dream job, the happy relationships. Stoicism steps in with a calm, steady voice. Don't sweat the delay. Focus on the seeds you're planting today and trust they'll grow if they're rooted in your values. It's about playing the long game with patience and purpose. Let's zoom in on what this looks like. Take simple, everyday acts. They're Stoic gold when done with intention. Going for a walk isn't just about stretching your legs. It's a chance to clear your head, to let your thoughts settle like dust after a storm, to practice mindfulness as you feel the ground beneath your feet. Cooking a healthy meal isn't just fuel for your body. It's an act of self-respect, a quiet nod to your well-being, saying, "I'm worth taking care of." Picking up a hobby, like painting, gardening, or even strumming a guitar, isn't just a way to kill time. It's growth, a way to anchor yourself in the moment and find joy that doesn't depend on likes or applause. These acts aren't flashy. They make headlines, but they wreathe the building blocks of a life aligned with your bigger goals, each one a deliberate step toward who you want to be. Marcus Aurelius lived this principle, and it's part of why he's still a beacon centuries later. He wasn't just an emperor juggling the chaos of an empire. He carved out time to journal his thoughts, wrestling with his fears, doubts, and values in what became his meditations. Those writings weren't for fame or posterity. They were his way of staying centered, of holding himself accountable to his principles amidst the whirlwind of ruling Rome. It was his nightly ritual, a way to ensure his actions matched his ideals, no matter how brutal the day had been. Seneca, another Stoic heavyweight, backed this up, urging us to treat our philosophical beliefs like sacred rules, non-negotiable anchors that keep us steady when life tries to knock us off course. These weren't just ideas to them. They were lifelines, guiding their every choice. So, how do you apply this in your own life? It's about starting small and being consistent. Pick one daily habit that feels thoughtful, just. Something that resonates with who you are and who you want to become. Maybe it's a morning walk to kickstart your day with clarity, a gratitude journal where you jot down 3 things that brought you joy, or 10 minutes of reading to feed your mind. Treat this habit like a promise to yourself, as essential as eating or sleeping. It's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about stacking small, intentional choices that build momentum. Over time, these habits weave together, creating a life that feels authentic, where you're not just reacting to the world's chaos but choosing your path with purpose. Let's get real for a second. Think about your day. Maybe you're juggling a demanding job, parenting, or just trying to keep your head above water. It's easy to let time slip by, to fall into autopilot, reacting to whatever comes at you. Stoicism says, slow down, choose. That morning walk might seem minor, but it's a moment to reconnect with yourself. That healthy meal might take effort, but it's a vote for your future self. These choices aren't selfish, they're self-care, the foundation for showing up fully for the people and causes you care about. And that brings us to the Stoic call to serve. Because a life lived thoughtfully isn't just about you, it's about lifting others too. Let's explore that next, because it's where Stoicism's heart really shines. Serve others, serve yourself. Stoicism isn't just about mastering your own mind, it's about reaching out to others too. Marcus Aurelius showed this in a way that still feels raw and real. During the Antonine Plague, when death swept through Rome like a merciless tide, he didn't flee to the safety of a countryside estate, as many leaders might have. He stayed in the heart of the crisis, in Rome, leading his people through panic and loss. He put their welfare above his own safety, risking his life to keep the empire steady. This wasn't just noble, it was essential, a living testament to the Stoic belief that a good life isn't lived in a bubble. It's woven into the lives of those around you, threaded through the connections that make us human. Marcus had a killer metaphor that cuts to the core. What is bad for the swarm is bad for the bee. It's a vivid image. Your well-being is tied to the health of the group, just like a single bee thrives only when the hive is strong. When you help others, whether it's volunteering your time, lending a hand, or simply listening when someone's struggling, you're not just being nice. You're building a stronger community, a web of support that lifts everyone, including you. It's a win-win, a ripple effect that starts with one act and spreads outward, touching lives in ways you might never see. Stoicism teaches that serving others isn't a side note. It's a cornerstone of living well, a way to find meaning that transcends your own worries. Seneca, another Stoic giant, put it so simply, it's almost poetic. Wherever there's a person, there's a chance for kindness. Think about that. Every interaction, every fleeting moment with a stranger, a friend, or a family member is an opportunity to make a dent, no matter how small. A smile to someone having a rough day, a heartfelt thank you to a barista, a quick favor for a neighbor. These things might seem minor, but they ripple. They create connection, reminding us we're part of something bigger, a shared human story that's bigger than our individual struggles. Aristotle, though not a Stoic, echoed this when he said, "True happiness flows from virtuous acts that link us to others, from living in a way that strengthens the bonds of community." Even modern science backs this up. Studies show that helping others can lower your stress, boost your mood, and increase your sense of purpose. Kindness isn't just good for the soul, it's good for your health. So, what does this look like in practice? It's not always about grand, heroic gestures, though those have their place. Start with the small stuff, the everyday moments that add up. Hold the door for someone juggling groceries. Check in on a friend who's been quiet lately, even if it's just a quick text to say, "Hey, you okay?" Donate a few bucks to a local cause, a food bank, a school fundraiser, anything that resonates. If you've got time, volunteer. Soup kitchens, animal shelters, or community gardens are always crying out for extra hands. Even a kind word to a stressed cashier, something as simple as, "Thanks for your hard work," can shift their day, maybe even their perspective. These moments don't just help others. They pull you out of your own head, loosening the grip of your worries and grounding you in something larger. Let's make it personal. Think about a time you felt overwhelmed. Maybe work was a grind, or you were wrestling with a personal problem. Now imagine you pause to help someone else, even in a tiny way, like carrying a neighbor's heavy bags or listening to a coworker vent. Didn't it shift something inside you? That's the Stoic magic at work. Serving others redirects your focus, reminding you of your power to make a difference, no matter how small. It's like stepping out of a dark room into sunlight. It doesn't erase your problems, but it puts them in perspective. Epictetus's wisdom ties this together. It's not what happens to you, but how you react. When you see someone struggling, a friend, a stranger, even a community in need, react with compassion. Choose action over apathy. Maybe it's offering a ride to someone stranded, volunteering an hour at a local event, or just being fully present when someone needs to talk. These choices build your resilience, because serving others reinforces your sense of agency, your ability to shape the world around you. It's a Stoic loop. By lifting others, you lift yourself, creating a life that is rich with meaning, and free of the regrets that come from living only for yourself. This call to service isn't about draining yourself or ignoring your own needs. It's about recognizing that we're all connected, that your strength fuels the group's, and theirs fuels yours. It's a cycle, like the swarm and the bee, where every act of kindness strengthens the whole. So, let's carry this forward and explore how to weave these Stoic principles into a daily toolkit, because that's where the real transformation begins. Your Stoic toolkit, putting it all together. We've journeyed through a treasure trove of Stoic wisdom, resilience, history's lessons, controlling your reactions, filtering noise, practicing mindfulness, living intentionally, and serving others. It's like a Stoic Swiss Army knife, packed with versatile tools to help you live better, fuller, and with fewer regrets. But here's the real question. How do you take this ancient philosophy and make it work in your messy, modern life? Let's wrap it up with a clear, practical game plan, so you can walk away ready to apply this wisdom, one step at a time. Think of this as your Stoic starter kit. Simple, doable, and designed to fit into your day, whether you're juggling a career, family, or just trying to find your footing. First, embrace what you control. Stoicism, so core, is about sorting life into what's yours to shape and what's not. Next time you're stressed, say your boss snaps at you or a friend cancels plans, grab a piece of paper or just pause for a mental checklist. Jot down 2 columns. What's in your power, your attitude, your effort, your next move, and what's not, other people's moods, the outcome of events, the weather. Focus on your side of the line like a laser. Maybe you can't make your boss chill out, but you can choose to respond calmly and keep doing your best work. It's like mental triage. Prioritize what you can shape and let the rest roll off like water on a duck's back. This shift saves energy and keeps you grounded, turning chaos into clarity. Second, lean on history. When life feels heavy, like you're carrying the world on your shoulders, take a moment to draw strength from the past. Think of a tough time someone else overcame, a historical figure like Marcus Aurelius, who faced a plague with steady resolve, or a family story, like how your parents or grandparents pushed through hard times with nothing but grit. These stories aren't just inspiration. They're proof you're not alone. Humans are built to endure, to adapt, to find a way. Next time you're overwhelmed, maybe a bill you weren't expecting lands in your inbox, pause and recall a story of resilience. Let it remind you that this too is just a chapter, not the whole book. It's like borrowing courage from those who've walked the path before you. Third, tune out the noise. Our world is a cacophony of opinions, news, and social media, all vying for your attention. Protect your mental space like it's a garden, weeding out distractions that don't serve you. Set boundaries with media. Try a daily limit, like an hour less scrolling or a no-phone hour before bed. When you encounter a post, headline, or gossip, ask, is this helping me grow? Does it align with my values? If not, skip it. For example, if a coworker's rant about office drama starts pulling you in, politely steer the conversation elsewhere. Curate what you consume like you're choosing ingredients for a meal. Keep what nourishes, ditch what poisons. This mental minimalism creates space for clarity and peace. Fourth, practice mindfulness. Stoicism thrives in the present, and mindfulness is your ticket there. Start small, 5 minutes a day, sit quietly, focus on your breath, and when your mind wanders to your to-do list or that awkward thing you said, gently bring it back. No judgment, just practice. Or pick one daily task, like eating lunch or walking to the mailbox, and do it fully present, without your phone or mental multitasking. Notice the flavors, the sounds, the feel of the ground. These moments train you to stay anchored, slicing through the fog of anxiety that thrives on what-ifs. Imagine savoring a meal, really tasting each bite instead of scrolling through emails. That's mindfulness, and it's a muscle that grows stronger with use. Fifth, live intentionally. Choose one daily habit that feels thoughtful, just, something that reflects who you are and who you want to be. It could be a morning walk to clear your mind, a gratitude journal where you note 3 things that sparked joy, or 10 minutes of reading to feed your soul. Make it non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth, even on hectic days. These small choices stack up, like bricks building a sturdy house. For instance, a nightly journal might seem minor, but over weeks it becomes a mirror, showing you how your actions align with your values, helping you live with purpose. Finally, serve others. Look for one way to help someone each week: a small favor, a donation, a listening ear. It doesn't need to be grand, it just needs to be real. Drop off groceries for a neighbor, volunteer an hour at a local shelter, or simply tell a stressed colleague, "You're doing great." These acts connect you to others, grounding you in purpose. They remind you of your power to make a difference, easing your own worries by shifting your focus outward. It's a Stoic loop. Lifting others lifts you. This isn't about perfection. You'll slip up, lose focus, get sucked into drama, or skip that mindful moment. That's okay. Stoicism isn't about being a robot or nailing it every time. It's about progress. When you stumble, pause, reset, and keep going. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory, shaping a life that's resilient, meaningful, and true to you. So, start today. One choice, one moment, one act at a time. Your journey starts now. So, here we are at the end of our dive into the Stoic world, and what a journey it's been. We've walked through the streets of ancient Rome, standing shoulder to shoulder with Marcus Aurelius as he faced a devastating plague with unshakable calm, choosing action over fear. We've sat with Epictetus, his sharp words cutting through life's noise, reminding us that our power lies in how we react, not in what happens to us. We've explored how history's patterns can ground us, how mindfulness can anchor us in the now, how intentional habits can shape a life of purpose, and how serving others weaves us into a stronger, shared human story. This isn't just philosophy tucked away in dusty scrolls. It's a living, breathing roadmap to a life where regret doesn't get to win, where you call the shots with clarity and heart. The beauty of Stoicism is that it's not reserved for emperors, scholars, or toga-wearing sages debating in grand forums. It's for you, right here, right now, in the middle of your beautifully messy life. You don't need a fancy title, a perfect plan, or a quiet mountaintop to start. You just need to take one step in this very moment to make these ideas your own. Picture it like planting a single seed. You don't need to see the whole tree yet. Just trust that it'll grow with care and time. Stoicism meets you where you are. Whether you're juggling a demanding job, navigating family chaos, or simply searching for a spark of meaning in a world that feels loud and overwhelming. So, let's make it real. Pick one tool from our Stoic toolkit and try it today. Yes, today, before the day slips away. Maybe it's taking a mindful breath when stress creeps in. Close your eyes, feel the air fill your lungs, and let the worries slip away for just a moment. Or maybe it's offering a kind word to someone who needs it. A coworker who frazzled, a stranger who looks weighed down, or even a quick text to a friend saying, "I'm here for you." Or try this. Grab a scrap of paper and make a quick list of what you can control in a tough situation. Your effort, your attitude, your next step, and focus there, letting the rest fade like background noise. Whatever you choose, make it yours. A small but deliberate act that says, "I'm choosing how I live." That's the first step toward a life that feels fuller, freer, and truer to who you are. This isn't about flipping your life upside down overnight. Stoicism isn't a quick fix or a magic pill. It's a practice, a way of showing up for yourself day after day. And here's the truth. You'll stumble. You'll get caught up in the noise of a heated argument, skip that mindful moment because life's too hectic, or react in a way you wish you hadn't. That's not failure. That's being human. Stoicism doesn't demand perfection. It celebrates progress. When you slip, pause, take a breath, and reset. Maybe you apologize for a harsh word, or try that gratitude journal again tomorrow. Each time you choose to keep going, you're building a stronger, more resilient version of yourself, one small victory at a time. Let's paint a picture. Imagine waking up a month from now, having woven just one Stoic habit into your days. Say, 5 minutes of mindfulness each morning. You're a little calmer, a little clearer, noticing the small joys you used to rush past. The warmth of your coffee mug, the way the light filters through your window. Or maybe you've been intentional about small acts of service, like checking in on a neighbor or volunteering an hour at a local cause. You feel connected, grounded, like your life has a pulse of purpose. These changes don't happen by accident. They start with one choice, one moment, one step you take today. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Stoic wisdom. It's been like exploring a hidden path together, one that leads to a life where clarity and purpose outshine regret. If this sparked something in you, a flicker of curiosity, a nudge to try something new, hit that subscribe button and stick around. We'll keep diving into ideas that challenge how we live, that push us to grow, to live with intention. The path to a regret-free life isn't some far-off destination. It's right here, one thoughtful choice away, waiting for you to take the first step. Until next time, keep steering your ship through life's waves, stay true to your course, and I'll see you in the comments or the next video. Take care, and let's keep this journey going.